Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Boy, I
Still
can.
can't hear Dr. Bergman.
You
Let's see.
can't hear me? I can hear you. I
Right.
can
If you
still
can
hear
hear
you.
me, type yes.
I can hear
Okay.
you,
I cannot
yes.
hear Dr. Bergman. Can you hear Dr. Bergman? Type yes.
I'm
Okay,
on
so I'm the only one
here.
who can't hear Dr. Bergman. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Well, I'll
Still can't hear Dr.
since
Bergman.
since Michelle can't hear me, I'll sing some
Boy,
sea
this is gonna be
shanty
fun having to ask
songs.
questions and not be able to do it. Okay.
So,
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right with you. Let me start the presentation. Dr. B, just hold it for a second and I will be back. I
you
have an
got it.
idea. Wow. Why did I have a tech thing?
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Well, I looked over Jordan. What did I
The person in
see?
charge of the display cannot hear, so I'm going in another way. So Dr. Bergman's going to entertain you.
Well, I don't know if my singing would be entertaining, but today I think we're going to be talking about fibromyalgia, which is amazing
Going
because
away.
it's at epidemic proportion today. So it's going to be fun. As soon as Michelle gets online, I would love, well, actually, gosh, I have no way to know if anyone can hear me or can't. Dum, 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 dum. Well, one of the cool things, last night I was speaking until about 9 o'clock on rewiring your brain for depression and bipolar disorder, and that's also one of the things we're going to be talking about today, how to rewire your brain for
Okay,
health.
so I don't know what to do. I can't seem to get to hear him. So I'm going to announce everything. And then Lisa is going to have to moderate by saying when Dr. Bergman's done answering my questions. I'm so sorry for this. My tech person's out of town and I'm on my own. So welcome to Gluten, Dairy, Sugar Free. Today we're excited to have a conversation. I guess it's going to be a strange conversation between Dr. Bergman and myself. So let's rock this out. We're going to try and do this a different way. First of all, welcome to come and listen. And we're so happy to have Dr. Bergman. I'm sad because last week or 2 weeks ago, I got to sit next to him while we did this. So if you don't know me, my name is Michelle DeBerge. I'm obviously not technically inclined. I'm a foodie chef, life coach, motivational speaker, and best-selling author and founder of Gluten, Dairy, Sugar Free. And I'm introducing my dear friend, Dr. Bergman. Not only is he an amazing chiropractor who's actually helping me, he's a health and wellness expert. He's an author, a speaker, and a YouTube sensation. You should check out his YouTube channel. So, we're starting a series that's going to go through March every other week, except the last week in February. We won't be here because we're going to be on a cruise ship. But it's called Getting Healthy with Dr. Bergman. We're going to have a topic, but we're also going to answer your questions. So, you've got a question and answer box there. If everybody can type in hello and where you're from. So, make sure that you can work it so that I can read your questions out loud to Dr. Bergman. So, type in your little box. Hello, Lisa from New Jersey. Great. Where are you guys from? All right, we've got some Texas, some California, Colorado, New Jersey, Georgia, Florida. Great. Okay, so this is your box. Type your questions. Now, since I cannot hear Dr. Bergman today, we're going to save the questions till the end, but please, excuse me, type them as you think of them. Today, our topic is fibromyalgia. So, this is a picture that I took from Dr. Bergman's slide about some of the pain points. I've made some notes, and Dr. Bergman is the expert, and we're also going to play a true and false section with Dr. Bergman. Dr. Bergman, are you good with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to set a slide. I'm going to say a few things, and then I'm going to be quiet. And Lisa, when he's done talking, if you could type in my turn so I don't overtalk him. Yes, he absolutely said yes. Great. Okay, so we're going to do this a fun way. Wow. Fibromyalgia is often referred to, I can't say these words. Dr. Bergman, you want to read these? And then we'll go to the next slide.
Myalgia, myofasciitis, fibromyositis, and fibrositis. What's wild is myo means muscle. So the first one just means muscle pain. Then the next one in English is muscle, fascia,
Lisa
inflammation.
is my ears. So
Okay, and then fibromyositis means some kind of fibrous adhesions in the muscles that's also inflaming. And then the last one means some kind of fibrous adhesion that's inflaming. So it just refers.
Okay, so the next slide. These are some of the common symptoms, and I'm going to have him go through the symptoms, and then we're going to play true and false. So I did research, and as you know, I am not a medical person, hence my partnership with Dr. Bergman. But when we were researching fibromyalgia, and the reason we chose this topic is a lot of my gluten, dairy, sugar-free clients and community members either have fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue, and they have these lists of symptoms. So I did a bunch of research, and these seem to be the common symptoms. So I'm going to have Dr. Bergman talk a little bit about symptoms, and then we're going to play true or false, because I was finding what the solutions are online, but I know Dr. Bergman well enough that he's going to shoot most of them down. So your turn.
Okay, when you look at the common symptoms, the official diagnosis is 18 of 22 tender points on the body, which is completely nonspecific. The sleep disturbances, that means that the body can't repair. The headaches, that 97% of all headaches come from the neck or from nerve pressure. Chronic fatigue, that goes along with the sleep disturbances. Muscle tightness, the muscle tightness that these people experience are muscles that they don't have in conscious control. Depression and mood swings, hell yes, that's a normal response if you're hurting all the time. And then when you look at the gastrointestinal bloating and the irritable bowel syndrome, 90% of the body's serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut. So obviously, if these people feel bad, they're going to have an alteration in serotonin production. End of symptoms. We got to work out the sound thing. I could keep going. Hello?
Hey, I found a way to hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I have two computers.
Oh, I like that. The echo. It sounds like we're talking in a giant warehouse.
Yeah, I apologize for that, everybody. I tell you what, I'll mute when I talk. So, Dr. Bergman, hello, I'm sorry for the craziness.
Oh, man. What? Hello?
Okay, moving to the next slide. I still have to mute myself so it doesn't go crazy. We're going to play true or false now. Are you up for true or false, Dr. Bergman? Over?
Absolutely. Roger that.
Okay, Dr. Bergman, I have been told that fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disease. Is that true?
Kind of yes, kind of no. In all autoimmune diseases, the immune system is acting correctly, but it's typically attacking healthy tissue. So in fibromyalgia, all the immune system responses that the body's given is correct given the environmental stimulus. Now, I mean, to break that down in English, it means that the muscle spasms are there in fibromyalgia to protect the body. The inflammation or the gut challenges that fibromyalgia patients typically have is also a normal response given the environmental toxins and pathogens. So the term autoimmune disease means that the body is attacking itself, and that's not really true because the body never does anything that's not intelligent. So the body is responding correctly given the environmental stimulus of toxicity or deficiency.
Okay, so I'm switching back and forth. So you guys, if you just joined us, I'm having technical issues. So I'm listening to Dr. Bergman on one computer, then I mute him on that and turn my other one on to talk. So we're going to sort of pretend like we've got walkie-talkies. So basically, the body doesn't attack itself, so it's not really an autoimmune disease. So my next question, true or false, is, whoop, I'm sorry. Vitamins and mineral deficiencies contribute to fibromyalgia. So, according to my research on some of the places, if I don't have the right vitamins, then I get the disease. Would that be true or false? And tell me a little more.
Absolutely true. Okay, but also too, if a person's in a fight or flight state, that sympathetic dominant, that painful scenario, they're going to have decreased nerve supply to the gut. So they may be taking in beautiful vitamins, beautiful minerals, healthy food, but they're not going to be able to break it down, absorb it, or utilize it if they're in that fight or flight state, because there's two nervous systems that are working with everybody, the rest, digest, and repair, or parasympathetic, and the sympathetic, or fight or flight. People with fibromyalgia are stuck in the fight or flight, and that decreases the ability of the gut to break down nutrients. Over.
Thanks for being such a trooper on this. So if my body's in fight or flight, and I'm assuming, I'm going to ask you this and then I'm going to go over. Fight or flight, I know is like if I'm not feeling well, if I'm scared of being chased by a gorilla, well, maybe not a gorilla, a lion, and my body's in fight or flight, that's what saves us. But if I'm in pain and my joints are inflamed and I'm not digesting well, would my body automatically be in fight or flight? Over.
Roger that. 10-4, good buddy. Yes. Yeah, because it's true. You figure but it's beyond that. Any physical, chemical, or emotional stress is going to cause an alteration in gut function. So and this is the key to find out. Your body responds the same to the physical, chemical, or emotional stressors. Over.
Okay, so then I'm going to take it one step further. I'm not being chased by a lion. I'm in a fight with my loved one, and he's really made me mad. And then I'm going to try and make myself feel better, and I'm going to drink some green juice and go sit in the sunshine and have vitamins. Is my body able to digest this and do them because I'm upset? Over.
It's possibly, if you can change your perception of the environmental stimulus, that means that getting cut off in traffic or anything else. It's your perception of what happens, not what's actually happening to you. Then you can actually go into the parasympathetic state. But a lot of people, they're going to have pressure on the nervous system, and this is what I'm finding with people that come in with this diagnosis, and that's something that you can't think yourself out of. If there's an actual physical obstruction to that nervous system where there's a bone slightly out of place putting pressure on the nerve, it's called a subluxation, or some type of long-term damage to the spine or nervous system, that's going to keep you in a sympathetic dominant state regardless of how good you are at controlling your emotions or your state. Over.
Okay, so I'm hearing two things I really want to talk about. So one is, there's actually something physical that needs to be fixed, and the other one is perceived, the perception of your environment. So I know, you get cut off in traffic, and then your boss yells at you, and then your paper's late or whatever, and you can stop and calm down and deep breathe and let go of the stress. You can change your environment. Does that actually change the body? That'd be first question. And the second one is, even if I could change the body, if the bone is pushing on something, then I really just need to get that fixed too. So it's sort of two-part question. Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It changes the body function. Stress does, but what's interesting is you can't stop the change. Your body's always changing. Whether and you can never be without stress. So it constantly, you're building a billion cells a day, you're tearing down a billion cells a day, and your body is dynamic. Nothing is static. So everything that's happening to you during the day is going to be manifested in either health or disease. So absolutely, what's happening to you can change your physiology. Now, the second part of that question, what was it?
This is so much fun. It's like walkie-talkies with your best friend. The second part of the question is, okay, so you can change it, but if your body's in that constant pain, then you need to fix the body. So let's say I come, like I came down a couple weeks ago and saw you and found that like yes, there was pressure on my body. So let's say I fixed that, but my body's been in crisis for so long, and we got the bone moved, and now we're changing the perception. Can the body regroup and rechange? Back to you.
Yeah, Roger, good buddy. Okay, yes, definitely. When you're looking at physical manifestations, sometimes the body needs help, and that's what a corrective chiropractor would do. Is that the body can't realign itself correctly a lot of times. There's been such physical trauma or emotional trauma or chemical trauma to the body that the body does need help. And this is going to be through specific adjustments, through specific exercises, ligamentous-based exercises, and also through some people require really high-dose vitamins or minerals because they've been deficient for so long. You just got to find out what the person is deficient or toxic in. Over.
Okay, and I'm going to ask this next question because I'm so curious. In fact, when we picked up your business partner, Dr. John DeWitt, at the airport, it was the first question I asked him. I have a lot of people, and I'm sorry I'm asking if you're repeating because I missed the first part. I have a lot of people saying they've got chronic fatigue, they can't go back to work, they're at home, they're tired all the time. It makes them moody, they're now sensitive to not having enough light in the winter, and it's just progressively snowballing. I don't understand enough of that. Could you give me some more information? Over.
I like having a webinar over walkie-talkies. Yeah. When you're looking at chronic fatigue, it's an absolute given that the person's not being able to regenerate. At nighttime is when your body literally regenerates itself. So if you're not getting healthy deep sleep, if you're not getting that REM state or the deep part of sleep when your body regenerates, you're going to develop chronic diseases. This is also why people with chronic fatigue, they've got to practice sleep. I mean, you can't watch TV before bed. You can't, have an adult beverage before bed. You have to go to bed at the right time, wake up at the right time. And there's certain parameters in our modern society that we forget that we have circadian rhythms, natural rhythms in our body that we have to maintain. So chronic fatigue, one of the most commonly missed problems is healthy sleep. But to get healthy sleep, you got to prepare your body in order to get it. And also, too, you got to look at the nervous system to see if the nervous system has any pressure on it. Once you solve the nervous system issue, the sleep issue, the chronic fatigue goes away, then you concentrate on rebuilding and regenerating. Over.
Yeah, walkie-talkies are fun. I just wish like I was on a tent on an island, but that's another day. So I know I'm just going to talk about myself because that's the best example I can have. Is I used to have TV in my bedroom, and I would watch it, and I'd get what I thought was insomnia because I'd get caught to the next thing and the next thing, and I couldn't sleep. So we removed the TV. But I remember in the beginning when I climb in bed, there's no TV. I've already done like calm reading, like you suggested, and I climb in bed, and I remember looking at my cats going, "Yeah, this is never going to happen." And then I wake up in the morning surprised. I know I've told the story to a lot of my clients, and they say, well, that's, what am I supposed to do? I'm laying in bed. How am I supposed to calm down so I actually go to sleep? So I know you've got some tips, so I'm going to pass it back to you. Over.
Yeah, one of the best things to do for deep sleep is you got to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. There's the best study on sleep I've seen is out of Scotland, where to get the most severe insomniacs, they would deprive them of sleep. And now, since you have circadian rhythms, being a human being, you need to be asleep between 11 and 1 o'clock because that's when your body goes through some of its best metabolic processes to absorb fat. So ideally, you're going to bed at 10, and if you have a sleep issue, you're going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So you're going to deprive the body of sleep. And I don't care if you had 10 minutes of sleep or 5 hours of sleep. You just got to go like gangbusters all day long. And then the room has to be prepared. It has to be incredibly dark. It has to be incredibly quiet. You got to cover your clock radio. To quiet your mind, you've got to journal just a half a page before you go to bed. Make sure there's no TV watching right before bed. Make sure you physically read something on paper, not on a computer. And then within 5 days of maintaining that schedule, doing the journaling, the no TV, the reading 15 minutes before bed, going to bed at 10 o'clock, getting up at 4, within 5 days of that, you're going to start to achieve REM state of sleep when you go to bed. Within 21 days of doing that, you've actually reset your circadian rhythms and you're going to be achieving deep REM state of sleep every night for the rest of your life. Over.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to another true or false. I love playing with Dr. Bergman. He's brilliant, so much fun. And so for those of you who don't know, I was down there a couple weeks ago in his office. He and his partner were working on me, and we got to do a webinar together. And so we decided that I'm actually going to go down and live down there for a couple weeks and have him work on me. We're going to document the whole thing. And he said he has 5 juicers in his house, so I invited myself to his house because that's the kind of girl I am. But spending more and more time with him, I've learned this guy's actually brilliant, but he's also likes a challenge. So please take your time to write in the box because we'll be doing answers to questions at the end. And think of your most challenging questions because I'm going to play Stump the Doctor at the end. Is that okay with you, Dr. Bergman?
Yes, I love that.
Okay, that being said, we're going to go to a true or false because, as you know, I'm a foodie and I'm all about the food, and he's all about the health, and so we're blending the two. So, true or false? I did a lot of research, our team did, and we found out that possibly gluten is overlooked as a factor and a cause for fibromyalgia and also for making it worse. Over.
Kinda yes, kinda no. So it's like right in between of a true or a false. The modern gluten, which was developed back in the late 60s, early 70s, has a hybridized plant. There's like 14 different new types of gluten that the human body's never been exposed to. If you look in gluten and the ancient grains, such as the einkorn grain or the real ancient grains, those have gluten, but it's not in a toxic effect that's going to negatively affect the body. One of the main things with gluten nowadays is in commercial wheat products, they actually soak fields in glyphosates or Roundup Ready. And this is getting in all of the commercially produced wheat products because it kills the wheat. And once the wheat plant dies, the pesticide kills the wheat plant, it actually gets rid of the seed. So it increases the yield for the field. However, people are eating these glyphosates, the Roundup Ready, and it's damaging the gut. So gluten normally wouldn't be a problem, but the hybridized has 14 different types of gluten that the human body has never been tested on. And then the glyphosates that it's soaked in causes holes in the gut. So a lot of people who are gluten sensitive can eat ancient grains and barley and rye as long as it's not as long as it's 100% organic and not soaked with the toxins. So the modern gluten, hell no, it's bad for everybody because it's soaked in pesticides and it has unhealthy and not experimented glutens. But ancient grains that are thousands of years old typically don't have a problem in a human.
Okay, so I want to talk about ancient grains for a minute because someone was introducing me to farro the other day, and I wasn't sure if it was gluten or not. I know it's an ancient grain. Maybe give us a little list of ancient grains. And then my other question was, someone told me, I'm bringing rumor today, guys, because how many of you have don't know what to eat? You ask someone, you get 2 different answers from 3 different people. So this is why we ask the experts, and that's why we bring Dr. Bergman. Now I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So I had someone over for dinner actually last night, and she brought dinner, and I told her I was gluten, dairy, sugar free, and she brought a whole big thing of fresh sourdough bread, and I said, well, thank you, but I can't eat that. I'm not doing gluten. And she said, no, 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 it's because there's an old mother and it's old, you can eat it, and it goes with all those ancient grains you can eat. And I didn't eat it. I chose not to, though it smelled divine. Tell us a little bit more about ancient grains, and then answer the sourdough question if you don't mind. Over.
Yeah, the ancient grains, that there's a couple of good ones to look up. One of them is grown local in Montana in America, and it's called kamut. It's like a brand name of an ancient grain that used to be found in Egypt, but around and that one's organically grown. It's in different products. The sourdough is actually a fermenting process, a bacteria process that goes into the wheat, which is phenomenally good for your digestion. So that's a good brand. The kind of wheat that was found in the Pharaoh's tombs is called einkorn, Einkorn, and this one is, incredible. It's been grown for 7,000 years, and I've got a lot of patients that will be gluten intolerant here. They'll go to Europe and they'll be just fine, because they don't use the glyphosates, they don't use the modified or hybridized wheat. They're using the ancient grains. Amaranth, barley, and rye, as long as it's organic. Oatmeal has gluten in it, but most people can tolerate oatmeal just fine. Just make sure that the grain is organic, and the ancient grains that are not hybridized or non-hybridized wheat should be tolerated pretty well with most people. If there's a leaky gut, though, like if they've had extreme stress, vaccinations, or antibiotics, then all gluten should be avoided while the gut heals, and that takes around 30 to 60 days to heal a gut. Over.
Cool, because leaky gut's going to be one of our topics. I know it could have been part of this, but it seems like such a big thing to talk about. So that's exciting. So what I'm hearing is einkorn, I got to research this, and in Montana, kamut. I'm going to definitely Google that. And amaranth is something that's been on my list to try. So this opens up the door a little bit. Again, the leaky gut piece, and we will be addressing leaky gut also. So that being said, and I love oatmeal. Cinnamon oatmeal. Yum. Here's our monkey. So let's say I've got fibromyalgia. My joints are sore. I've got all these symptoms. I'm really exhausted. I'm worn out. I want to know, what do I do, Dr. Bergman? What top 5 things for me to do right away to help ease my stress? Over.
Number one, immediately, thing that you have to do is get your nervous system checked by a corrective chiropractor. And this is going to involve, hopefully, x-rays or digital x-rays are the best. Weight-bearing digital x-rays are the best. And then what we do in our office, we do certain scans. We'll check surface electromyography, or the muscle activity. We'll check the organ systems using a Roland thermal scan. We'll do variations in heart rate to see how your autonomic or automatic nervous system is working. So there has to be a thorough assessment of your nervous system first before anything. Then, once we identify problems or pressure on it, and 100% of the people that I've seen with fibromyalgia have pressure on the nervous system, then we go through and begin the correction and get pressure off the nervous system. Then we do a nutrition analysis, and we talk about eliminating gluten and dairy for at least the first 60 to 90 days to find out what damaged their gut. And then we'll do a food or medication analysis, because typically people with fibromyalgia, they're taking the anti-inflammatories, the pain relievers, the sleep medications, the antidepressants, the muscle relaxants. It's a drug nightmare. So we'll do a drug search on them, usually within the first week, to go through and explain what drugs, because sick people need drugs. But as you get somebody healthy, if a healthy person takes a drug, it throws them back into being sick. So what we want to do is get their body as healthy as fast as possible, and give them nutrients such as juicing and blending to detox their body and to heal the gut. And then the need for the medications won't be there, and then they can stop them.
Okay, thank you. Is this good news, guys? Type in your box. Are you still with us? Are we hitting some good stuff? Because we're going to do three more really important points, and then we're going to move into questions. So, wow, this is cool. Someone writes yes. Someone writes yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. So, our purpose, Dr. Bergman and I are doing this for a reason, is to get you as much information as possible to be healthy. When I started my journey, and all of a sudden became gluten, dairy, sugar free, it was like my world was upside down, and I became that way because I was so sick. And so if you're out there and you're sick and you're not feeling good, or you've been diagnosed with something, these talks that we do are really helpful because it's information and you get to ask your questions. Someone asked me the other day, why would you partner up with a doctor and why would you do it? And it's like, so many times you go to a regular doctor and they give you a pill before they even listen to what's wrong with your body or listen to you. So this is an opportunity for a real guy who really knows medicine well and he's passionate about it and always learning it, and a foodie who's gluten, dairy, sugar free to partner up to help you. So we're going to cover three other areas that I know really affect our topic today, which is fibromyalgia. And so the first one is he touched on it a little bit about emotional stress, but Dr. Bergman, tell us a little bit. I know the fight or flight, but what else about emotional stress affects the body and affects the fibromyalgia? Over.
Well, it's interesting. Emotions are chemicals produced by the brain based on your perception of what happens. So if you're in a consistent emotional state, you're also under consistent chemical assault from your brain. So now it's based on perception of what your brain sees. So like I use the analogy of the smell of baked bread. Some people may have that has like joy and wonder and grandma and home, and that smell of baked bread will bathe your body in this chemical assault of joy and wonderment and love. If you were hit by a Helms Bakery truck and you smell baked bread, you would have like absolute panic and stress and cortisol and adrenaline every time you smell baked bread. So in order to take charge of the chemical assault that emotions are, you can change your perception. And this is by changing how your brain is hardwired. And this is one of the exercises we take people through on how to change the wiring of the brain. Because it's not what happens to you, it's the perception of what happens to you. If you've just gone through a breakup in a relationship, it's like, thank God, love that person, hope they enjoy life, and I'm free. Or, oh my God, I'm never going to love again, I'm going to die. Okay, it all depends on your perception and response to any environmental stimuli, and you have the control, you have the power to rewire your brain.
So I have to ask you, I love this because this is my meat of stuff. I've been in mental health for so long. Um, so it is perception. It really is how you see, is the glass half full, is the glass half empty, and all of those things. Is that program of yours up on your YouTube channel, or how does someone find those pieces so that they can start working on perception?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube, on a bunch of them. One of them is on the cure for depression and bipolar disorder. That's a good one. In fact, my last book that I wrote is on the cure for depression and bipolar disorder, how to rewire your brain. And then there's also change on YouTube, change your perception, change your life. And because all of those have specific exercises inside where you literally rewire your brain. It works 100% of the time. And I mean, a lot of the techniques too are used in the military. There's a thing called EMDR, eye movement desensitization response, that the military has been using. If you have seen a major traumatic event in war, you don't forget the event. But what these techniques do, and this is throughout your entire life, even the techniques that we teach, is you still remember the event, but you don't have that emotional charge attached to that event. So you don't have that massive chemical assault. So you never forget that you were hit by the Helms Bakery truck. You just don't have the emotional response connected to it.
Yeah, I know that I used EMDR after my incident. I was hurt and killed and brought back to life, and I used EMDR. And what I was taught was, if you have a trauma, you react to the world from that trauma in your frontal lobe. So everything's triggered. For me, I didn't want to be around men, and all kinds of things were horrible. And when I did the EMDR, it actually, blends it into the other things, and then you're fine. In fact, my whole team, except for one, is clean now. You would have thought that, 10 years ago. So I know that EMDR, and I know that you change your mind with how you think. but it's really a practice, Dr. Bergman. You can't just do it overnight. It is something you should put in your life on a daily basis. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. When the key to rewiring your brain is repetition, and it's developing habits over time, and then your brain's hardwired. And it's brilliant that to realize that you have the ability to change the wiring of your brain. And then what it does, there's a thing called endogenous pharmacotherapy, where endogenous means you're actually going to produce the chemicals that your body requires, in treating yourself with your own pharmacy that you produce, because you produce pain relievers more powerful than heroin. You produce natural diazepams, which are the antidepressants. You produce natural pain relievers. Your body produces all this stuff under the appropriate emotional awareness and stimulus.
Okay, so yeah, that is so cool. Just think about it. Your body produces the pain. Your body produces the diazepam he's talking about are like your anti-anxiety medications that you'll be given by your doctor, your antidepressants. So your body has to actually produce it. So next question, and then we'll move to the next slide. Dr. Bergman, how do they get this book? We're going to drop the link to the YouTube channel, but how would they get your book? Over.
Oh, and Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's on our website. But I've got a couple of books pertaining to this subject. I've got one on arthritis reversal, one on how to correct fibromyalgia, one how to rewire your brain, and there's also a really good one on healthy eating. So Amazon would probably be the best.
Okay, so Dr. Bergman's not a busy man at all. Okay, so the next slide, I'm going to do 2 slides in a row since we're doing a walking webinar here. Because you're going to get, I'm not going to be able to hear it, but you're going to hear a reaction from Dr. Bergman. I know this is one of the things that's going to make them sit and spin. So I did it intentionally, just so you know. So we're talking about 3 things that really affect your health. One was emotional stress. One is chemicals in your body, and that can also be the chemicals in your food. And here's the second slide, medication to treat side effects of medications. And I'm going straight to Dr. Bergman now.
Yeah. If you ever want to trigger like the whole fingernails on the chalkboard, this is. But it's true. If you look at now, modern healthcare is to take symptoms and treat them with a chemical to alter the physiology, and that totally disrespects the body's intelligent design. I mean, if you look at the picture that we're looking at now with the head made of pills, if that man's head is forward, where the head is forward, leaning over, the muscles in the back are going to be tighter. Just having the head forward head carriage is going to compress the nerves that supply the diaphragm. It's going to make the entire body acidic. It's going to trigger the shoulders to be in spasm chronically, which is also going to affect the nerves that supply the arms. I mean, you could medicate that person to death, and nothing will fix that forward head carriage unless you change the shape of the discs, the spine, and reverse any degenerative changes, which is possible. What drives me crazy is medications. When somebody has like joint pain, they're given a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory like Motrin, Aleve, ibuprofen. Those drugs destroy joint cartilage. So the joint pain, you're given a drug that destroys joint cartilage. This is why the majority of doctors, and I'm talking doctors of chiropractic, doctors of osteopathy, doctors of medicine, they don't see reversal of arthritis because they're still treating people with drugs that destroy the joints. And then when you look at the side effect of muscle relaxants, it's muscle spasms that's the side effect. And anti-inflammatory medications decrease the body's ability to regenerate. It's nuts to try and arrogant to think that you're smarter than the body and you're second guessing it and you're altering physiology with a chemical. Those guys need to be fired.
I told you he would wiggle on that one. I'm going to change the screen so he can breathe a little bit. He really gets on fire about it, and it's one of the reasons I put it up there. One of the reasons I ended up in organ failure was like medications for side effects, and like 5 different doctors and medications. And he's absolutely right. Really look at that. And I put that up there 2 reasons. One, I like to make him squeal, but 2, he's right. So I want to, first of all, questions are coming through. We're going to do questions at the end. But one of the things that's been requested is on the cruise, Dr. Bergman, you're going to have to karaoke. I heard you sang a great song. Would that be true?
Yeah. Okay. I sound good when I'm on my boat and there's no one around to hear, but yeah, I'll do karaoke for sure. I love singing. I'm just not particularly good at it.
Excellent. Just so you guys know, we're going to be taking video cameras with us. Okay. The next slide is the third piece, and our topic again is fibromyalgia and chronic, fatigue, physical care and exercise. So let's start with I always recommend my clients don't jump into something crazy like a 30-day detox and a full workout because you're not going to do it 2 weeks in a row. You're going to feel bad about yourself and you're going to give up. So for someone who's been in a lot of pain, you still need some physical care. You still need a little bit of exercise. Where's an ease in, Dr. Bergman? What would be an easy way to start in that's doable so that you set yourself up for success? Over.
What's wild is I've taken quadriplegics and given them exercises. So it doesn't matter the state of your physical being right now. Deep breathing exercise is one. Okay, deep diaphragmatic belly breathing, that's a good exercise. Walking with skin on earth, so barefoot walking, 20 minutes a day is fantastic. Some people can't walk because they have severe joint pain. I'll tell them to sit in their backyard, put a chair in the middle of the grass, and just start pulling up grass with their toes. That would be a good exercise. I mean, the very, very basic stretching, increasing your water. But before any exercise program has to be done, you got to look at what's stopping you. Because if it's joint pain, you got to solve the joint pain. It could be as simple as increasing your water intake, because water, it is actually gets in the blood, thins the blood, and with healthy blood, you get healthy fluid production in the joints. So it's almost like oiling your joints. So find out what's limiting you and then start off slow. 20 minutes of walking a day is ideal. Deep breathing is ideal. So start slow, but have your chiropractor direct you on what's appropriate for you.
So what about if you got a lot of joint pain? I know you need to solve it in the process. What about something like being in the water, swimming or floating or something like that?
In the water's okay, but a lot of times what we need to do is change how the brain fires. And that's going to be what's more of a cross crawl exercise. And when you're in the water, you're typically trying to maintain balance and you're not getting a consistent sensory input into the brain. That's why walking is actually, I would prefer it over if you have appropriate foot, knee, ankle, hip function, that it doesn't cause you a lot of pain to walk. Walking would be preferred over the swimming. If you can only float in the pool, beautiful. Then do it's cross crawl exercises where one side comes up and the other side goes back. So walking in the pool, but with accentuated arm and leg movement, that would be appropriate. You just need to get both halves of the brain firing off correctly.
Okay, that sounds good. So going to our next slide. What about diet? We're talking about fibromyalgia, we're talking about joint pain, we're talking about all that stuff. Now, I know on my website I'm offering gluten, dairy, sugar-free only recipes, but some people come to me, okay, I also can't have nuts, or my doctor recommends that I can't have this or that. Just, I know in general, what kind of things should we be putting in our body? I know I juice, I know you juice. Can you juice too much? What to take in and what to add? And I'm just going to pass it over to you for a few minutes.
Okay, cool. On diet, particularly when you're talking about fibromyalgia, these are people who are, and there's two organs that pretty much regulate how your body regenerates, or what's called your metabolic response. You've got a thyroid and you've got adrenals. Now, the adrenals are activated, and it's almost like there's an adrenal fatigue in people with fibromyalgia. So when one is up, or when the adrenals are up, the thyroid's down. When the thyroid's up, the adrenals are down. And what you want to have healthy metabolism, and that's what diet is. It's taking in nutrients, breaking it down, and regenerating your body with that. So the things you have to avoid, knowing that you're in an adrenal dominant or a sympathetic dominant state in fibromyalgia, is you've got to avoid juicing dark green leafy vegetables. You can eat them, you can saute them, but the dark green leafy vegetables, and this is, which are phenomenally beneficial in every other condition in the world, you don't want to juice them because it's going to slow down the thyroid function. And then when you're looking at oils that absolutely have to be avoided is polyunsaturated fats. Okay, and this is going to be nuts, seeds. You want to reduce your consumption of those just until we get you out of that sympathetic dominant or adrenal dominant state. So this means if you're going to use like for a salad dressing, because you can eat dark green leafy vegetables but not juice them. And for salad dressing, use salsa, use healthy fats like avocados. So there's avoid nuts, avoid seeds, completely avoid as many polyunsaturated fats as you can, and juice as many root vegetables, even apples, but fennel, carrots, beets, turmeric, all of those root vegetables are also going to help if there's any fungal aspects to, like a fungal infection or candida infection in the diet as well. Over.
It's funny. We were talking about juicing last time we were together, and that's when he told me he had 5 juicers, and I was blown away. And I was asking him about fennel because I had fennel and celery root in my fridge. And so I did. I came home and I did a fennel carrot beet. Oh my goodness! Have you tried that one? Over.
No, it sounds great.
It is great. Okay, so we're going to move on to one more thing, and then we're going to do questions in a minute. Let's see if we can make this work. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop some links in at the end of our talk today. We're going to have the Amazon link to all of Dr. Bergman's books if they interest you. We're not trying to sell anything today or anything like that. We're just giving you resources. We're also going to drop in a link to his YouTube channel, which is free. It's got hundreds of videos. They're amazing. He's got the funniest mic. It looks like a laser thing. It's going to be beamed up to like gods of wisdom or something. We're going to give you this book that I made with my team, and it's a collection of my favorite recipes, gluten, dairy, sugar free. So we're going to give you all this stuff so that you have it. You've got some tools. You've got some questions. We're going to be here again in 2 weeks with a surprise topic that we'll let you know next week. But we're going to move into question and answers in just a second. But Dr. Bergman and I have something to share with you, don't we, Dr. Bergman?
Oh yeah, definitely. Whatever.
Oh my God! You guys have got to meet this man in person. So when I first met Dr. Bergman, just so you know, I had met his business partner, Dr. John DeWitt, and became dear friends with him immediately. I'm his little sister. He picks on me all the time. In fact, he was picking on me about an hour ago. And anyway, he hooked Dr. Bergman and I up together, and we got to know each other, started working together before we really met. And he's just such a joy, but to be in his presence is so much fun. So he is going on a cruise at the end of February, the 21st through the 28th, and talking and teaching on it with 7 days at sea in the Caribbean. Now, you heard me say we? Yeah, because guess what? I'm going. I bugged them. I get to teach too. That was funny, though. I thought I'd be teaching every day. I'm not, so I guess I'll be laying on the deck. Anyway, we're going to be cruising. The point is it's a rejuvenate and renewal cruise, and it's to relax, rejuvenate, and get healthy, and he's going to be teaching the days we're out at sea. He's got a great syllabus full of classes, and then we're going to be playing together. Just so you know, we just talked him into doing karaoke, but his partner, Dr. John DeWitt, will be with us, and we are going to play Dr. John DeWitt. I'm going to give you the link to the cruise right now, and if you're interested, take a look. We've got a couple cabins left. Now, I never thought I'd be doing a cruise, and all honesty, it just sounded like it would be super expensive, or I couldn't afford it. But when I figured out I was getting all the food, all the adventure, and everything else, it turned out to be completely affordable. So here's the link to that. That's what we're going to be doing. Let me show you the pictures again because they're so cool. Okay, so that's the actual ship we're going to be going on, the Celebrity Reflection. I already picked out my cabin. Did you pick out your cabin, Dr. Bergman?
No. I barely do anything. I mean, my secretary gives me a packet, and I just get on the plane and get there. I don't pick out anything.
Some of us are so spoiled. Anyway, so he's going to be there with us and learning. So that's that information. We're going to move into questions and answers, but first I want you to look in the chat box. I just put the cruise thing in. I'm going to give you the link to his books. The reason that I'm doing this is because more information that you have, you're in charge of your body, your life, and how much you want to know. Now, personally, all I know is that I get one life, so I'm doing the best that I can with it and constantly improving and constantly taking care of myself. If I get an extra one and I'm reincarnated hot dog, I am going to be so good at that life. But the more information you can have, the better. So let me give you the YouTube channel too, and then type in your questions, and I'm going to read them, and we're going to do the walkie-talkie thing again. God, he has a great sense of humor. Could you imagine? He was a stuffy doctor. Well, he was a stuffy doctor. I wouldn't have played with him anyway. But start typing in your questions. We're going to start answering those questions. I want to make sure that you get your questions answered. That's super important. Um, Take what you learned today. If you have questions for the next call, write them down and send them to me. I'll make a list and bring them in. Um, he is really good at answering questions, and it just keeps going back to the one thing that I'm hearing him say is be careful of the medications, take care of your body, watch what you put in your body, and take care of yourself. So one of the questions, Dr. Bergman, is someone found this at a health food store, and it's called Gluten, Glutene. It's a pill that promises if you're accidentally contaminated by gluten or you've eaten gluten, it will make you feel better. What's your opinion?
No. I love that. No, just figure the gluten contamination goes away very, very quickly. Fix the problem. If you've been contaminated with gluten, it's from a leaky gut, and so you just got to heal the gut. So if this pill, because I'm unaware of the contents or physiology of it, but if it's designed to heal the gut and detox the system, absolutely. What can be substituted for that is healthy fats. I mean, good coconut oil or coconut water, electrolytes, healthy healthy proteins, healthy carbs. All of those things are going to help heal the gut. Juicing and blending with root vegetables are going to help heal the gut. So heal the gut instead of looking as gluten has been a poison, and then your body will take care of the poison.
Okay, that's a good one. So speaking of gut, the next question is from our friend Lila. By the way, Dr. Bergman, she was thrilled with everything that you did for her. When I was down with Dr. Bergman, I had Lila, she was making table members, write out what she was suffering from, and we actually read it to Dr. Bergman and videotaped it so she could actually see what he had to say. So her question today is, do you believe eating a total raw food diet will help you heal your gut? Over.
No. No, because I mean, a raw food diet is really good. It's fantastic. There's living enzymes. You may need, and raw food would include juicing and blending with slow speed juicer so the enzymes are still maintained. And that's ideal. It's fantastic. However, in modern world, it's really, really hard to be 100% raw food all the time. And so look at healthy starches, okay? Look at rices, and you can get raw rice too. You can soak it, but also healthy organic potatoes. I mean, healthy, because that is phenomenal for long-term energy. So raw food is good, but it's not necessary, and honestly, in most circumstances, it's not real practical.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that because those are a lot of questions we get. And also, I see people also go to find really extreme things, and is it, can you maintain it? Kathy asks, what is a good basic juice recipe that you would recommend?
Ooh, honestly, it's going to turn your pea red, but beets, organic carrots, organic celery, and apples with the core, organic apples. And then you could also toss in, depending on whatever you have in your neck of the woods, toss in some turmeric root, toss in a little bit of ginger for spice, and to also generate heat. So it's also going to increase metabolism. I mean, the root vegetables are phenomenal for juicing. Now, if you don't have fibromyalgia or a sympathetic dominant state or an adrenal fatigue state, juicing dark green leafy vegetables are incredibly good for you. So any kind of plant that's
really good. So let's see one more. We've got a bunch more questions. Do you believe the weather affects fibro pain, and if so, why? Over.
Oh yeah, it really does. Yeah, and it's kind of cool when you learn how it does. You know how some people, if they've had joint damage, they can say, "Yep, it's gonna rain. I can tell my joints are sore." The reason is the joint has a capsule around it, and this is all joints. We're talking joints of the fingers, wrist, elbow, shoulder, hip, knee, and that that capsule is filled with synovial fluid, and it's under a certain pressure. Now, when the weather changes, they're actually, because you're underneath so many miles of air and there's an actual pressure on each aspect of your skin, when the weather changes, the barometer falls or the pressure around you gets less. And this means that a low pressure system's moving in, or rain, or some kind of weather change. Well, the pressure inside of your joints, if your joints aren't healthy, those joints want to expand and explode. So all your joints are going to be achy and sore. The way that you equalize the pressure is to open and close the joints, but also realize that that's a factor of joints that aren't aligned, joints that don't have healthy nerve supply, or blood that's not healthy. And then you won't be able to tell the weather. If you fix all of those, you won't be able to tell the weather with your joints.
Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, we've got two more
Few more
questions.
questions.
This one
This
is
one
says, I've
says,
been
I've been
watching a
watching
lot
a
of your
lot of your
YouTube
YouTube
videos, and
videos,
what
and
you're
what you're
saying makes
saying
a
makes
whole
a
lot
whole
of
lot of
sense.
sense.
So
So
basically, for
basically,
all
for all
diseases in the
diseases in the
body, if
body,
you
if
get
you
your
get your
nervous
nervous
system
system
checked,
checked,
juice
juice
vegetables, get
vegetables, get
sleep,
sleep,
pray and
pray and
meditate, and
meditate, and
eventually you can
eventually you can
control your
control your
disease.
disease.
Is this
Is this
correct?
correct?
Over.
Over.
It is. It's weird because you can't say that to the average person because they think, no, that's too simple. It's impossible. You can't. But it's true. The body is designed for health. Health is a natural state of the body. Anything else is from deficiency or toxicity. And you fix those deficiencies or toxicities, and the body can reverse disease at virtually any stage. Oh my God.
That's what I
That's what
get
I
so
get
excited because he
excited
gets
because he
so
gets so
excited about it.
excited
He's
about
like,
it. He's
you
like,
can
you can
fix
fix
anything, you
anything,
can
you can
heal
heal
anything.
anything.
Okay, I have
Okay, I have
two more
two more
questions.
questions.
Is
Is
smoothie better
smoothie
than
better than
juicing so
juicing
that
so
you
that
get
you get
fiber?
fiber?
Yes or
Yes or
no?
no?
Over.
Over.
Both are essential. The difference between a juicer and a smoothie, or like a blender, is a blender, you're going to get the whole thing. You're going to get the whole fruit. So fruits should be blended. Apples are about the only exception. In a juice is a juice extractor where it separates the heavy fibers from the soluble fibers, and the soluble fibers are going to clean the arteries. So if you have anything with joint problems, arthritis, or toxic blood, you want to clean the arteries in order to get healthy blood flow and healthy oxygen to the tissue. And that's the juicing. So like you can juice 3 pounds of carrots, a pound of spinach, a pound of apples, okay, and you're going to end up with about 40 ounces of juice. So you're going to get the benefit of all of those vegetables by juicing them. You would not get the benefits of all of those pounds of vegetables by blending them. So the blending is going to be more for pre-digesting, and it's going to be more for healthy fats and fruits, and the juicing is going to be more for vegetables to clean the arteries.
Well,
Wow,
that
that
little
little
tidbit
tidbit
alone is a
alone is a
lot.
lot.
The
The
last
last
question that we
question that we
have,
have,
and it's
and
actually
it's
a good
actually a good
question,
question,
is it
is it
possible to
possible to
juice too
juice too
much? I
much?
know
I
that I
know that
made
I
two
made two
giant
giant
pictures
pictures
of,
of,
this was
this was
a question
a
from
question from
one of our
one of our
listeners, but
listeners, but
I
I
personally
personally
made this
made this
two
two
giant
giant
pictures of
pictures
this
of this
carrot,
carrot,
beet,
beet,
fennel,
fennel,
I think it
I
had
think it had
ginger in it
ginger in
too,
it too,
juice,
juice.
and I
And I
meant to
meant to
save
save
half, but I
half, but
actually
I actually
drank it all.
drank it
So when
all.
she
So when
wrote
she
that
wrote
question, I
that
was like,
question, I was
boy,
like,
did I
boy, did
drink
I
too
drink
much
too much
juice?
juice?
Dr.
Dr.
Bergman,
Bergman,
it's
it's
up
up
to
to
you.
you.
No, you can do too much anything. I mean, you could die of water intoxication. So, it's got to be done with thought. What's interesting though is when you're juicing, you're typically juicing carbohydrates or things that are going to break down into carbs, and carbohydrate metabolism begins in the mouth. So if you have to chew the juice in order to properly digest it. And the only way that you can tell if you're drinking too much is if you have diarrhea, if you have a negative response to it, and also with not just juicing and blending, look at how you feel afterwards. If you feel energized, if you feel vitalized, then this is something that your body is metabolizing correctly, and it's good for you. If you're feeling wiped out, sick, bloated, then your body can't break it down or metabolize it, so it's not good for you. So look at your metabolic response with everything, not just juicing and blending, but everything, and listen to your body, and it'll tell you if you need too much, more, less, whatever response.
Well, that is really good news. Actually, I didn't feel like, okay, don't crack up. The Energizer Bunny. Oh, the carrot juice. Okay, I know. Oh, so silly. I want to thank Dr. Bergman for being here today. I hope you guys got some great information. We've put the links in the box to link to it. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got all kinds of stuff on there. One thing about Dr. John is he's just such a big giver of information and just really the belief of being able to be informed. And I have to tell you, when I was on this journey on my own, it was just a lot of he said, she said, the studies on the website, and it was very confusing. And the nice thing about Dr. Bergman is he makes it so that I can understand it and most people can understand it. So I'm signing off and let Dr. Bergman say the last couple words, and thank you guys for being here today. Your turn, Dr.
Thanks, Thanks, Michelle. This has been so much fun. And I mean, the more information we get out and people realize that their body is intelligent, it's healthy, it's a good design, and that disease is really a lack of ease, that to treat symptoms with a chemical, which is modern medical care, is really not effective long term for correcting a problem. Realize that your body's healthy, that all diseases can be reversed. If you've been lied to and told that your disease is genetic, really look at all the family members that don't have that disease. Okay, how come they're not expressing and the others are? So even genetic diseases, you're in control of. You are in control of your health and your health expression. So, and thank you so much for getting this opportunity. I love you and appreciate you.
Same thing to you, and I so adore you and love you, and thank you guys for staying with us while we did the over walkie-talkie things. I apologize. I figured out my tech stuff. Someone did ask me to get a copy of the slides. If you email me at gethealthy at glutendarysugarfree.com, I can arrange that, but the majority of the information is in what he said. I'm screening that recording that I did pick up his voice, and I can get it on the site. If not, make sure to tune in 2 weeks at noon again. When you signed up for the class, you have to sign up for the series through March. Like I said, we're doing it every other week except the week that we're at sea. So on that note, thank you guys. Enjoy your treat. Stay healthy. Find me on my fan page, and if you have questions for Dr. Bergman, as usual, get them to me and I'll get them. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, son. That was fun.